So we're getting ready to load up for a camping trip here. So I put that heavy, that's a stove. I put that in the front so that it's more tongue heavy. And that way, hopefully, it will stay on. Last time I had some problems with it kicking off. That wasn't good. Bag is a cot. Another sleeping bag. Tent, rain fly of a tent. So we're looking for a spot to camp here. I think this is where we're going to set our tent up. We'll be overlooking this big open valley, so we'll be able to see the sky, see the sunset, tomorrow's sunrise. The sun should set over that direction. And then there's some dead trees over here that we'll be able to cut up. We're going to have a little fire. A couple things to look at here. I'm going to set my tent up right here beside the four-wheeler. So I'm going to unhook that trailer where all my gear is at. I'm going to drive the four-wheeler back and forth across there just to pack that snow down so I don't have it squishing underneath me. And so we'll take a look at some stuff in a minute. All right, so I've kind of packed that down, good enough to put a tent up on. The nice thing was, too, driving back and forth, I could find where it was level, pretty level, and so I'll probably set the tent up about right there. But wow, What a gorgeous view. There's something to be said for a solo trip into the backcountry. It's a balancing act between solitude and loneliness, stupidity and ego, but somehow it fills the void left by civilization. Solo adventures can offer some of the greatest solitude, but yet they leave one sometimes feeling a little lonely. Solitude in the sense that there's nobody to break up your thoughts. There's nobody to judge when things don't go right, and that's going to happen. They leave one at peace with their own thoughts and in their own mind. But when things are awesome and everything goes just right and the sun is perfectly setting in the evening sky, there's no one to share it with. There's no one to share your thoughts with. No one to share your feelings with. Is that solitude or is that loneliness? It's one of the nice things about these poles. They all have shock cord in them, so they pretty much go together almost by themselves. I'm going to throw one on each corner and then we'll get it set up. And the top, it's got a little pole collector. This goes out to the rain fly, and then these go to the four corners. Forgot my steel tent stakes. All I have is plastic ones and they won't pound into the frozen ground. So I'm going to limb these trees off here and use those along my tent to tie my tent to. It's a pain, but it is what it is. In a solo adventure, you're left with your own thoughts, your own feelings, your memories, regrets, your aspirations. If you don't like the company, you probably haven't spent enough time out by yourself. I've cut logs, put around the corners. It's not pretty, but it's going to stay there. Do a little walk around here. It's got guy wires that go up and hold it out. And where those guy wires connect, it actually goes through and also connects. There's a grommet there that connects to the tent, and so it helps pull the tent back. Take a little look here. I haven't put anything inside of it yet. You can see my floor savers there on the bottom. I haven't put it out even yet. And there's the gear lofts hanging up there. I'll hang those up in the corners, but you can see it's connected there, back over there, and there, back there. Once I get some stuff in here, this thing's going to be solid. All right, we're getting ready to make the best steak ever. I've had several people ask me questions about how to control the temperature on my cooking surface when you're using a wood stove like this. This and see what it looks like here. all the way through. Solo adventuring is also a balancing act between ego and stupidity. It's that I know I can do this all by myself, but on the opposite end of the spectrum, can I do it safely? Because when things go bad and you're by yourself, there's no one to blame and there's no one to help. What happens when the weather all of a sudden takes a turn for the worse? What happens if you break down? What happens if you get stuck? If you tip a machine over on yourself and are stuck, or have a broken bone, who's going to help? What happens if you cut yourself deep enough that you need stitches? What's that noise in the middle of the night? Is it a bear? A moose? A coyote? These questions are just some of the demons that come out to play in your mind when you're all by yourself. Are they bad? Are they good? Are they cautious? Is it wisdom or just paranoia? I would say that if your plan requires every single step to go just right so that you can be successful, you have a bad plan. So let's wade into this just a little bit. Most of us start our solo adventures with someone else. Someone who has a skill set that's better than ours. We travel along, we learn, we watch, we do, and at some point we feel like we have enough skills to perhaps venture a little bit out on our own. The first few trips are generally not far off the grid. They're close by. Maybe they're even in our backyard. And we practice, we make sure we have a skill set, we learn from our mistakes. We get stuck, we get cut, we get in precarious positions and figure out how to get out of them. At some point, it's time to challenge ourselves a little bit more and get further off the grid and get further into the bad stuff, where more things can go wrong. From each of our mistakes, we will learn and we will get better. We will physically challenge ourselves. We will mentally challenge ourselves, and we will improve our skill set. With this comes a sense of pride, a sense of accomplishment, and a desire to get more, to go deeper, to go further, to go harder. All right, it was down to about 0 last night, and my four-wheeler is very, very cold-blooded, probably because the carburetor needs to be rebuilt. And so typically speaking, in the mornings, it's pretty tough to start. This is the choke. Pull the choke out. It has to be in neutral to start. You can see it's in neutral right there. And then there's the start button down there. This is the throttle, and so I'm going to turn it over, give it a little bit of gas, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to use some starting fluid to get started here. And to do that, you have to get to the carburetor, which is underneath the seat. And then the air box is here, so this is where the air filter is. There, we'll take the air filter off. I haven't even tightened this back up. It's wintertime, so there's not a lot of dust. And this seems to be a process I'm having to repeat a lot. Okay, so we're going to give it a shot of starting fluid. And we'll try starting it again. Has to get warmed up. Once it gets warmed up, it'll run great, but it just has to get past this first start. Acts like it's dead. That's weird. Okay, well, we do have a pull start on here. Come on. It should run fine the rest of the day. The sun's just about ready to come up. We're getting ready to break down camp. But before I start loading my trailer up, I thought we'd take a quick walk around this trailer. So this is a Bosky trailer. Bosky builds trailers. So it's a single axle trailer. It is the same width as a four-wheeler. It's built for four-wheelers, and that way when you're going through mud puddles or you're trying to straddle a ditch, it straddles the ditch just like your four-wheeler would, so it tracks your four-wheeler well. Let's see, this is on a ram, which is very convenient. When you're out in your travels and you see a lone adventurer, know that they're looking for something. They might be looking for their thoughts. They may be looking for solitude. They may be looking for themselves. But whatever they seek, it can likely only be found in the company of one. New car for sale. Goes with Arctic B&B Rentals. We also deal in fine used automobiles. This one has just a few miles on it. It's pretty much good as new. That front tire there might just need a little bit of air in it, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah. And it's a little harder to steer this way. You have to lean really hard if you want it to steer. But other than that, she's as good as new. Serious inquiries only. I know what I've got here. Don't try to lowball me.